It goes without saying, America's democracy is very strange. Despite being a country with diverse political opinions and ideas, our choices are narrowed down to just two choices. The way our democratic system is set up, it basically is impossible to hold a political office unless you belong to either the Democrats or Republicans. But what if it didn't have to be this way? What if anyone could win? Well, I'm not a political philosopher, so I don't want to go over these complex issues. But I think it would be funny if we went through 10 batshit crazy third parties, which have ran for real offices in the United States. And when I say third parties, I do not mean the Libertarians or the Green Party. No. I am talking about parties that would make Gary Johnson look like the reincarnation of Socrates. So come along as we go over 10 crazy United States political parties. Number 1, the Guns and Dope Party. Created by Robert Anton Wilson, according to their website, the Guns and Dope Party is dedicated to ending Tsarism within the California Republic. Their official party slogans goes, and platform goes, we advocate 1. Guns for those who want them, no guns forced on those who don't want them, i.e. Quakers. Drugs for those who want them, no drugs forced on those who don't want them, i.e. Christian Scientists, etc. 3. An end to Tsarism and the return to a constitutional democracy. 4. Equal rights for ostriches. I like number 4. According to the Guns and Dope Party, Tsarism directly relates back to the American drug market and how the US government acts as czars in relation to drugs and guns. They also, and I quote, advocate for everybody to be president. Well, at least everybody who feels ready for the responsibility of self-government. Those who still need Big Daddy or Big Mama to discipline and dominate them should vote for whatever Führer, it says Führer, but it misspells Führer, or savior they like best. If you want self-government, don't vote for the two lying bastards or this is a real one, Demo-Can or Republicrat parties, or for any minority party that also wants to govern you. There are so many spelling errors in that quote. I think it's just fucking hilarious. Whatever. If you look very closely, you will just see so many grammatical errors, which is the sign of any legit political party. I can also guarantee you my computer has so many viruses just looking at their website. So I hope you think this party's funny because they'll be tracking my data for the rest of my life, and I am assuming they know my banking history now. Yay! Number 2, the Owl Party. The second party I'm going to go over is the Owl Party. It was created in Washington State in 1976 for their statewide elections. The party was created by Red Kelly, who was a member of a jazz band. After Kelly recruited other members of his band, all of the members started to file for various statewide elections. This included Kelly himself, who ran for governor and got a grand total of 0.8% of the vote. One party member named Boom Boom McInnes actually got 3.35% of the statewide vote for Washington State Auditor, which actually isn't terrible. Some other funny facts about the Owl Party is that their party slogan was out with logic, on with lunacy. They're also very well known to hoot at political events, and during the 1976 campaign, they promoted their party by selling bumper stickers that just said bumper sticker. After failing to win a single election, the Owl Party planned to merge with the Goat Party, which I found very, very little information on, so I'm sorry about that. But the merger failed due to the differences of political opinions, which is wild because their political philosophy is nowhere to be found online. It is literally everywhere. Anyway, no candidate has run for the Owl Party since 1976, but it's technically still active, so if you want to go for it, go for it. Number 3, the Straight Talking American Government Party. The Straight Talking American Government Party, also known as the Stag Party, was created by American comedian Pat Paulsen for his run for president in the 1968 presidential election. Paulsen made his announcement on the Smother Brothers Comedy Hour, and the joke quickly took off. Paulsen started to run joke campaigns for years to come. Some of his slogans he used when running was, "We cannot stand Pat," "We can be decisive," ... probably, and "United we sit." When speaking at the Democrat National Convention, don't ask me how/why he was able to speak there, Paulsen boldly declared, "If elected, I will win," which is honestly the most honest a politician has ever been. What's hilarious is on multiple occasions, Paulsen actually talked about real policy decisions that the other candidates were proposing. For instance, during Bob Dole's 1996 run for president, Dole promised to cut taxes by 15%, to which Paulson commented, "I think we should just tip the government. If it doesn't do a good job, then you give them less. 15% is the standard tip, isn't it?" What's sad is I really don't disagree with this policy proposal because, come on, if your government sucks, you shouldn't have to pay taxes, and taxes are basically a tip, right? Anyway, when asked if he would make a good president, Paulson said, "Why not? I can't dance. Besides, the job has a good pension plan, and I'll get a lot of money when I retire." Again, this is a very honest answer. That, let's be real, when 20 people seek the nomination of a party, most of them are just doing it for fame. Just look at all the crappy books that come out each presidential election season. Number 4, the surprise party. The surprise party was another comedy stunt done by actress and comedian Gracie Allen. Off topic, but Allen currently has a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is pretty cool. Kind of like Donald Trump, but she obviously didn't win because it's 1940s and she's a woman, and she also ran under the surprise party. Well, in 1940, Allen announced her candidacy for president under the surprise party. From there, Allen went countrywide on a campaign tour while doing her radio show live in different cities. Before I get into one of her quotes, I first need to explain what the Lend-Lease Bill was. Essentially, during World War II, it was a bill which provided materials to countries such as the United Kingdom, Free France, China, along with other allied countries. This bill was essentially the way of providing necessary war materials for the Allies. So, what was the official surprise party policy on the Lend-Lease Bill? Well, in an interview, Gracie Allen stated, "I don't know much about the Lend-Lease Bill, but if we owe it, we should pay it." Nice. She really seems very politically capable there. I guess it's still a joke party, but still. One funny quote she did have when she said, "Everybody knows a woman is better than a man when it comes to introducing bills into the House," which is just the hilarious and perfect amount of sexism I can put on this channel without anyone getting mad. As the campaign went on, Allen actually started to get some real support. Harvard University, yes, the Harvard University actually endorsed her, and she published a book on her campaign and her journey throughout the country. The surprise party mascot was a kangaroo, and their party motto was, "It's in the bag." In the end, Allen didn't receive many votes, but interestingly enough, the fucking Prohibition Party candidate received 57,000 votes. The Prohibition Party was another party I almost put on this list, but frankly, I thought it was way too mainstream to include, which is crazy if you think about it. Number 5, the Inanimate Objects Party. The Inanimate Objects Party is a political party created by, Christ, I'm going to butcher this name, Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute? Good enough. This is a private college in Troy, New York. The Inanimate Objects Party originated as the Apathy Party, as a way of protesting the policies of Greek life on campus. But the real party did not start until 1997, as a way to protest the school policy of forcing students to use Microsoft Windows. Okay. Good job, Bill Gates, for starting this, basically. Soon, one of the founders of the party, Rob Colonna, obtains a 7-foot inflatable whale, which the students named Arthur Galpin. Galpin would go on to serve as the party's main candidate for various offices. The Inanimate Objects Party has been the main way for students to protest various new school policies over the years. For instance, one time they protested a laptop program on RPI's campus, while the party usually posts satirical posters across campus as well. The funniest thing the party eventually did was they adopted an albino squirrel which was being seen on campus as the party's mascot. The albino squirrel would eventually be named Albie and would become very popular on campus. The IOP created t-shirts for the squirrel and made him an official candidate for president of the union. Whatever the fuck that is. That might be president of the United States. I don't know. It might be some local RPI thing. But still, it was a real office. The IPO got the attention of the Albino Squirrel Preservation Society, which has over 700 members and is dedicated to fostering compassion and goodwill toward albino squirrels. Today, Albie is clearly dead because, come on, squirrels don't live very long. But his legacy lives on through the Inanimate Objects Party. Number 6, the Birthday Party. The birthday party refers to Kanye West's 2020 run for president of the United States. You got that right. Technically, Kanye ran under the birthday party. West was always rumored to jump into the 2020 election, but many thought that he could not join the race as he missed 6 different deadlines to appear on the ballot as a third party. And obviously, he didn't run as a Democrat or Republican. Despite the odds, Yeezy still ran his campaign and actually gained a decent amount of support. West appeared on the ballot in 12 states and appealed to be on the ballot in battleground states such as Ohio, Wisconsin, and Arizona. Moreover, celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, I guess that makes sense, Elon Musk, Dennis Rodman, and Pamela Anderson all endorsed West. Interestingly enough, many Republican groups started to fund Kanye's campaign, as it was seen as a way of taking votes away from Joe Biden. According to his supporters, Kanye could easily solicit votes from young African Americans, a voting bloc which consistently votes Democrat. Kanye's platform, as one might expect, was all over the place, to say the least. For example, Kanye wanted to reinstate prayer in schools, oppose abortions, and give government funds to faith-based organizations. All of these are policies one would find in a Christian theocracy. However, Kanye also participated in the George Floyd protests and even paid off Floyd's daughter's college tuition. He also strongly advocated for prison reform. So honestly, I have no clue where West stands politically. These are both very left and right-wing ideas. I guess he's the definition of an umbrella candidate. What's hilarious is West's presidential nominee was this lady named Michelle Tidball, who I legitimately have never heard of before this. Apparently she's a preacher, life coach, who specifies in mental health, which is just ironic considering her running mate. Anyway, the birthday party was short-lived, as West only gained 60,000 votes nationwide. But if he were on the ballot in all 50 states, I legitimately think he could have made a difference in 2020. Make of that what you will. Number 7, the Youth International Party. The Youth International Party, also known as Yippies, was a political party established in the 1960s as a counterculture anti-war party. What's ironic is they describe themselves as anarchists, but they clearly won some sort of government, but I digress. The Yippies got extremely famous for their various theatrical political protests that can be seen throughout the 1960s. The first major one was in 1967 when the Yippies applied for a permit to levitate the Pentagon. How they would accomplish this, no one knows, but they eventually marched on the Pentagon and attempted to levitate it. Next, the Yippies somehow got a tour of the New York Stock Exchange, and on the tour, a group of Yippies started throwing fake dollar bills from the balcony to watch as stockbrokers scrambled to grab the money. Ironically, most of the brokers just booed them because, they're wealthy and don't need handouts from Shaggy's underachieving cousins. They also did some other stuff, like the founder assaulted the Who at Woodstock, which is just a story on its own. One of them dressed up as a Revolutionary War soldier at the Democratic National Convention, and another wore a Viet Cong flag after being stripped of an American flag. And also, inventing pie throwing as a political movement was also invented by the Yippies. So, typical hippie stuff. I honestly could do a whole video on the Yippies because of the amount of crazy stuff they've done, because this clearly cannot be contained to one video. But I definitely want to tell you about their presidential nominee. In 1968, the Yippies nominated a domestic pig, which they named Pegasus the Immortal, for president. The Yippies revealed Pegasus before the 1968 Democratic primary, and over 200 people attended Pegasus's campaign announcement. Unfortunately, many of the attendees were police who arrested the Yippies for animal cruelty, and they relocated Pegasus the Immortal to Chicago's Anti-Cruelty Society. 5 months after Pegasus was nominated, Yippies held a inauguration, you get it, for the newly elected President Pegasus. The real president ended up being Richard Nixon, and the Yippies would eventually fall into obscurity. In 1976, the Yippies literally nominated nobody to be their presidential nominee, but who really cares about that? Number 8, the Legal Marijuana Now Party. This name is pretty self-explanatory, but the Legal Marijuana Now Party is dedicated towards, legalizing weed. The party was established in 1998 as a way of opposing U.S. drug policies. Its main goal is to legalize drugs and abolish the DEA. Interestingly, The Legal Marijuana Now Party is considered a major party in both Minnesota and Nebraska, meaning it is on par with Democrats and Republicans. Despite this major status, the party currently has 0 members of any state legislature. In 2016, they nominated Dan Vacek to be their nominee and received 13,500 votes nationwide. One sort of funny thing with them that happened in 2020 when congressional candidate Adam Weeks was on the ballot for Minnesota's 2nd congressional district. Tragically, Weeks died before the election. That's not funny, but I'll get to the funny part. But because the Legal Marijuana Now Party is considered a major party in Minnesota, legally a special election must be held with a new candidate. However, the Minnesota courts overrode the state law and held the election anyway. Feeling betrayed by their state, the Legal Marijuana Now Party supporters were encouraged to vote for Weeks anyway. After the election, Adam Weeks, a dead man, received over 5% of the vote and possibly flipped the election. Unfortunately, the Legal Marijuana Now Party has a clear expiration date, as states nationwide are loosening their drug laws. But unlike most parties on this list, this third party has actually made a difference across the United States. Their policies of legalizing homegrown cannabis, erasing past marijuana convictions, and banning employment drug testing are all policies that should be deeply considered by more mainstream politicians. Number 9, the Alaska Independence Party. The Alaska Independence Party is exactly what its name sounds like. It's a statewide party who advocates for Alaska to become an independent country. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. According to their official party platform, they're only asking for a referendum to become an independent country. So good on them, they'll actually vote. State independence movements are not unique to Alaska. Hell, California, Texas, and Hawaii all have sovereignty movements right now. But the funniest thing about this party to me is how Todd Palin, Sarah Palin's now ex-husband, is a member of it. That's right, a vice presidential nominee of a major party was actually married to someone who actively works for a state to secede from the union. Think about how fucking crazy that is. That would be like if Jill Biden was a member of a Delaware independence militia. What is equally strange is the Alaska Independence Party has actually won offices. In 1990, Wally Hickel became governor of Alaska after running under the Alaska Independence Party. Hickel would eventually become a Republican in 1994, but it's still insane to think that he won. For those of you who don't know, Alaska has a history of third parties influencing elections. In fact, Al Gross, an independent candidate, was the main challenger to current Senator Dan Sullivan's 2020 campaign. Currently, the party has over 19,000 members, making it the third largest political party in Alaska, and obviously a player to come. Number 10, the United States Pirate Party. This is the last but not least on our list. When I found this party, I was disappointed to find out they did not actually advocate pirating that we would see in Pirates of the Caribbean, but instead their main concern was video piracy and copyright infringement. According to the United States Pirate Party, the United States should eliminate all patents and copyright laws, and everything should be available for free use. According to the party, this would create a free cultural values and better government accountability. The Pirate Party also follows what's called hackers' ethics. According to hackers' ethics, sharing information and data with others is an ethical imperative. Essentially, all information needs to be available to the public at all times. One pirate even got elected to public office. Steve Revelak won his local town council race in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is one of only 5 states to have the Pirate Party as an official party, which just sucks because it annoys me that third parties are never given a chance in this country. But whatever. What's some dude on YouTube going to do about it? Currently, the Pirate Party is looking for candidates, so if you're interested in this party, they will essentially make you their nominee for basically anything. But, as I said, they're only on the ballot in 5 states, so you'll have to get a lot of public support. Link in the description. These are just 10 of the very funny political parties in the United States. But, as you can see, I left off other obscure parties such as the Rent is Too Damn High Party and the Aloha Party. Honestly, I just thought these were the 10 most obscure and funny ones, but if you want me to do a follow-up video regarding more crazy US political parties, please let me know and I'll happy to do it. I also didn't include the Black Panther Party or any neo-Nazi parties just because I do not want to advocate a platform on them, and I thought this would just be more fun if we did this. So, do any of these parties appeal to you? Are you thinking about making a political party? Please let me know. And let me know what you think of these parties, and remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, everyone.